Hi everyone, it's DJ and this is my October wrap-up. So for October, I finished a total of 9 books and I exceeded my goal of 8. So I'm really super excited. So it was a good month and I'm super excited. I'm super excited for November. So the first book that I read, or I should say listened to, is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. And I really enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars and I really did enjoy it. It was a love-hate relationship and I love those types of stories. It's an adult contemporary, so it's a little bit different than what I've been reading. So it was really, really good and I really enjoyed it. The next book that I listened to is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. It is the first book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series and I gave this one 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. I immediately had to go out and get the second one because it's so good. I love the cleverness of it, and listening to it I really enjoyed the narration of it. It was really well done. So I really enjoyed that one. The next book that I read was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. It is the first book in the Raven Cycle series, and this one I gave a 4.5 out of 5 stars, I believe. And again, so good. Like, I know what the hype is about now. Like, it is so good, and I'm super excited to read the next in the series. I'm in love with all the boys and Blue, and oh, it is so good. It was so good. I kept going to work and I'm like, this is what's happening in this point. This point is happening, and they're like, what? What are you talking about? Of course, I couldn't forget about it because they were like looking at me and I was just like, meh. But so good, and definitely recommend. It is so good. The next book that I listened to was Everland by Wendy Spinelli, and I really enjoyed this one. It is the first book in the Everland series, and I know that Umberland just came out, I want to say. And I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy this one. It is a young adult dystopian steampunk Peter Pan, and it was really good. And I love retellings of classics and retellings of folklore and all those stories. I really like them because I like being able to see the different plot points and like the characters, and it's like, I know that character, or I know that plot point, or anything like that. So I really enjoy picking those out, and that's kind of the reason why I love retellings, is because I'm able to actually pick out those plot points and see the twist that the author has taken with it. The next book that I read was Sleepy Hollow and Other Stories by Washington Irving, and I actually am classifying this as a D and F because I did not finish it. I finished Sleepy Hollow, so I finished The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which was the one that I wanted to read, but I just couldn't get through Rip Van Winkle and all the other stories. I just couldn't get through them because I felt like I was back in high school required to read them, and I just couldn't read them. Washington Irving's writing is very dense. It wasn't in my taste, I guess. So I did really like when it got to the Sleepy Hollow part that everybody knows about, but until then it was just kind of like, it dragged. So I just couldn't finish any of the other stories because I felt like I was back in high school with compulsory reading, and I'm just like, meh. So I'm sorry, but I didn't finish it. The next book that I listened to is Waiting on the Sidelines by Ginger Scott. It is the first book in the Waiting on the Sidelines series, and I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it for the most part, but there were some parts in it that were just kind of okay for me. It wasn't my most memorable read this month, but I did enjoy it. I enjoyed listening to the narration, but it wasn't my favorite. The next book that I read was Just Friends by Tiffany Pitcock, and I really enjoyed this one. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the dual perspective, and if you watched my September wrap-up, you know that I love when they have different perspectives, just because we get into the character's head more. And I really liked this one because it wasn't, the perspectives weren't from first person, they were third person. So it was different than what I have been reading as far as the dual perspectives or multi-perspectives. So I really did enjoy this one. I thought this one was clever and cute and adorable, and I really loved how it started out as a lie and it just built from there. And like, I thought it was pretty realistic when it comes to high schoolers and teens and all that good stuff. The next book that I read is The Princess Saves Herself in This One by Amanda Lovelace, and I really enjoyed this one. It took me no time to read this one. I give this one 4 out of 5 stars because it's all poetry. So it has these different poems, and it again took me no time to read it because it was nice and quick, and it was something that I've been wanting to read for a while, and I'm glad that I got this when I did, and I'm glad I read it when I did because it was a nice cleanser and of what I had been reading. And the last book that I read in the month of October is Jemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. It is the second book in the Illuminae Files series trilogy, I believe. The third one is coming out next year, and I'm super excited about it. And I'm even more excited about it because I finished this one and I want to know what's next. I want to know what's next with Katie and Ezra and Hannah and Nick, and oh my gosh, so good. It is so good, and I love the docket form and the IMs, and it makes so much sense because it's a sci-fi, and it's just, oh, it is so good. And this one upped Illuminae by 1,000. Like, craziness just happened, and it went from like 0 to 700 in 0.2 seconds. Like, it was really crazy, and I loved every single moment of it. It was so good. And oh my gosh, the little bugs things, oh my gosh, I was trying to explain it to somebody, and I was like, I couldn't even get through explaining the bugs because I was just like freaking out so much because I was like, oh, they're so gross. These little bugs are so gross. And it was so funny because I'm just trying to explain it to them to like say this is such a good book, but I just, those bugs. And I gave this one 4.5 out of 5 stars. Perfect sequel to such a great story. And you can check out my September wrap up to see what I talked about with Illuminae, and just, oh, it's so good. Such a good series. Such a good series. So that's it. Those are all the books that I read in the month of October, and I'm so proud of myself for reading 9 books. 10 if you count Sleepy Hollow, but I kind of don't because I didn't finish the entire book, but that's okay because I still read 9 books, and I'm super excited. And before I go, the book that I am currently reading is Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. It is the second book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and I told you I love that book so much that I had to go get the second one, and I'm so glad that I did, and I'm so glad I'm reading it. It is so good, and it's so perfect for this time of year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, comment down below, and let me know about your most memorable October read. I think that mine was probably Gemina. It was probably my favorite one that I read, and then my other one was Stalking Jack the Ripper. Those were my two. I didn't have just one. Sorry. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can hit the button that is right up there. You can check out my latest video, and it's right up there. And then you can also check out all of my wrap-up videos that are right there, my wrap-up playlist. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy reading. Bye.